Chapter 1. The Return to the Celestial Veil. Tim Robertson's return to the Celestial Veil was marked by a familiar yet awe-inspiring scene. The station, a marvel of engineering and cosmic artistry, hung suspended in space, its transparent domes glistening with reflections of distant stars. Inside, the life support systems hummed in harmony with the cosmic energies that flowed through every corridor and chamber. It was a place where science met spirituality, a sanctuary for those who sought to understand the universe and their place within it. As Tim stepped off the shuttle, he was immediately enveloped by the ethereal beauty of the veil. The gentle luminescence of the corridors guided him toward the grand atrium, where a tense diplomatic meeting was already underway. The atrium itself was a masterpiece, with its high ceilings and walls adorned with intricate mosaics depicting celestial phenomena. It was here that representatives from across the galaxy convened to maintain peace and foster cooperation. Tim entered the atrium to find a heated debate between Synthorian technocrats and Aetherian sages. The Synthorians, known for their technological prowess, were advocating for more stringent controls on trade routes. A proposal met with skepticism by the Aetherians, who valued freedom and exploration above all else. These restrictions could cripple our ability to share knowledge, argued Elder Thaler, his voice resonating with the wisdom of centuries. We must not allow fear to dictate our actions. Across the table, technocrat Lyra Voss countered with measured precision. We cannot ignore the potential threats. Security must be our priority if we are to preserve what we have built here. Tim listened intently, his mind already churning with the complexities of interstellar politics. He knew that these tensions were but a symptom of deeper issues that were now compounded by Wendy's mysterious disappearance. The conversation was abruptly interrupted as a messenger hurried into the room, his face pale with urgency. "There's been a development," he announced, his voice cutting through the clamor. "Wendy Robertson has gone missing during her mission with the Lumari." A hush fell over the atrium, and all eyes turned to Tim. His heart clenched at the news, a mix of dread and determination settling over him. Wendy had always been the adventurous one, driven by a curiosity that sometimes bordered on reckless. But she was also capable and resourceful. If she was in trouble, it meant something had gone terribly wrong. As the meeting adjourned in disarray, Wendy Robertson appeared at Tim's side. Her vibrant attire, a swirl of colors that seemed to shift with her movements, stood in stark contrast to the somber atmosphere. Her energy was infectious, even now when worry etched lines on her usually animated face. "Tim," she said, pulling him into a secluded alcove away from prying eyes and ears. "We need to talk." Tim nodded, grateful for the chance to gather his thoughts. "Wendy's disappearance? It's not just about her, is it?" Wendy shook her head, her expression serious. "No, it's bigger than that. Wendy was on a mission to establish new trade links with the Lumari. If something's happened to her, it could jeopardize everything we've worked for." Tim sighed, running a hand through his hair as he considered their options. "I feel torn, Wendy. My duty is to maintain peace here at the Veil, but I can't just abandon Wendy." Wendy placed a reassuring hand on his shoulder. "We'll find her, Tim, together. But we need to be smart about this. The Lumari are secretive. We'll have to tread carefully." Her words resonated with him, echoing his own thoughts. He knew that any misstep could lead to further complications, not just for Wendy, but for the entire interstellar community. "You're right," Tim agreed, his resolve strengthening. "We'll start by gathering information and allies. We can't do this alone." Wendy nodded, her eyes alight with determination. "Let's get moving then. Time is not on our side." Together they left the alcove, their path illuminated by the soft glow of the Celestial Veil's corridors. As they walked, Tim couldn't shake the feeling that they were on the brink of something monumental, a revelation that could change everything they knew about their place in the universe. And so began their journey into uncertainty, driven by loyalty and an unyielding desire for truth amidst the echoes of the Celestial Veil. Chapter 2. Into the Lumari Domain. The Celestial Veil faded into the cosmic backdrop as Tim and Wendy embarked on their journey to the Lumari Domain. The shuttle hummed softly, its sleek design cutting through the iridescent fog that swirled around them. Tim sat in contemplative silence, gazing out at the vast expanse of space, his mind a whirlpool of thoughts and emotions. Wendy broke the silence, her voice a vibrant thread pulling him back to the present. "I still can't believe Wendy's gone," she said, her tone a mix of disbelief and determination. "She's always been able to talk her way out of anything." Tim nodded, his gaze still fixed on the stars. "That's what worries me. If she can't talk her way out, it means she's facing something we've never encountered before." The shuttle entered a dense region of colorful nebulas, the hues shifting from deep blues to fiery oranges. Wendy marveled at the sight, momentarily distracted from their mission. "It's beautiful, isn't it?" she said, her eyes wide with wonder. "Yes," Tim agreed, though his thoughts remained tethered to the task ahead. He turned away from the window as the shuttle approached their destination, a series of towering spires emerging from the mist like ancient sentinels. The Lumari domain was unlike anything Tim had ever seen. The architecture was organic and fluid, structures seemingly grown rather than built. The atmosphere shimmered with an ethereal glow, casting everything in a surreal light. As they disembarked, they were met by Elara Voss, the seasoned Synthorian technocrat whose reputation for finding patterns in chaos was well known across the galaxy. Her presence brought a measure of comfort to Tim. She was an ally who understood the stakes. "Welcome to the Lumari domain." Elara greeted them, her voice calm and steady. Her eyes, sharp and perceptive, scanned their faces as if assessing their readiness for what lay ahead. "Thank you for meeting us," Tim replied, shaking her hand firmly. "We need all the insight we can get." Elara nodded, leading them through winding paths that seemed to shift with each step. "The Lumari are a complex society," she explained. "Their technology is advanced, but their cultural practices are deeply rooted in tradition. It's a delicate balance." Wendy glanced around, her curiosity piqued. "Do you think they had anything to do with Wendy's disappearance?" Elara paused, considering her words carefully. "It's possible," she admitted, "but I suspect there are other forces at play, forces that might not want our civilizations to remain allies." As they walked, Elara shared her knowledge of recent technological exchanges between the Lumari and other factions. Her insights painted a picture of shifting alliances and hidden agendas, each thread intricately woven into the fabric of interstellar politics. "The Lumari have always been enigmatic," Elara continued. "Their ability to manipulate energy fields is unmatched. If someone wanted to hide Wendy, this would be the place to do it." Tim absorbed her words, his mind racing with possibilities. The complexity of the situation was daunting, yet he felt a growing determination to unravel the mystery. Their path led them to a grand hall where light danced across crystalline walls. Elara gestured for them to sit at a circular table that seemed to pulse with energy. "Let's analyze what we know," she suggested, her analytical mind already at work. "We need to identify potential motives and connections." Tim leaned forward, eager to contribute. "Wendy's mission was about trade links. If her disappearance disrupts that, who stands to gain?" Elara tapped her chin thoughtfully. "Anyone who fears change or wishes to exploit instability." Wendy interjected with her characteristic enthusiasm. "And what about internal Lumari factions? Could there be dissent among them?" Elara nodded slowly. "It's possible. The Lumari are not monolithic. Their society is as diverse as any other." Their conversation delved deeper into theories and hypotheses, each one adding another layer to the intricate puzzle. Tim found himself relying on Elara's ability to perceive patterns in chaos, a skill that was proving invaluable. As they pieced together potential scenarios, Tim felt a renewed sense of purpose. He realized that understanding the complex web of alliances and rivalries was crucial not only for finding Wendy, but also for maintaining peace within the galaxy. Their discussion stretched into hours, each hypothesis examined from multiple angles until they were left with a clearer picture of their next steps. Finally, Elara stood, signaling an end to their session. "We've made progress," she said with a hint of satisfaction, "but there's still much we don't know." Tim agreed, feeling both exhausted and invigorated by their efforts. "Thank you, Elara. Your insights have been invaluable." Wendy echoed his gratitude. "Yes, thank you. We'll need all the help we can get." Elara smiled warmly. "I'll continue to gather information here while you two proceed further into Lumari territory." As they prepared to leave the hall, Tim glanced at Wendy, who met his gaze with unwavering resolve. They were no closer to finding Wendy yet, but he felt confident that they were on the right path. Together, they stepped back into the shimmering light of the Lumari domain, ready to face whatever challenges awaited them in their quest for truth amidst cosmic wonders, and so continued their journey, guided by loyalty, courage, and an unyielding desire for answers in a universe filled with echoes of mystery and hope. Chapter 3: Whispers of Deception. The Lumari Elder's Chamber was an impressive sight, a fusion of natural beauty and advanced technology that seemed to hum with its own quiet power. The walls were lined with bioluminescent vines that pulsed gently in rhythm with the low, resonant tones of Lumari music, an ancient melody that spoke of harmony and history. Tim Robertson stood at the entrance, taking in the scene before him. He felt a familiar mixture of awe and trepidation. Wendy at his side adjusted her vibrant attire, her eyes scanning the room with a mix of curiosity and caution. Her linguistic prowess had always been her strength, and today it would be crucial. They approached the circle of elders who were seated on elevated platforms, their expressions inscrutable but not unkind. Each elder wore robes that shimmered like stardust, their colors shifting subtly with every movement. The leader among them, Elder Zathra, inclined his head in a gesture of welcome. "Honored guests," he intoned, his voice deep and resonant, "the Lumari bid you welcome. We understand you seek answers." Wendy stepped forward, her voice carrying the respectful cadence necessary for such a delicate interaction. "We thank you for granting us this audience, Elder Zathra. Our sister, Wendy Robertson, was last seen here while on a mission of peace. We seek to understand what might have befallen her." The elders exchanged glances, their expressions unreadable. Tim felt a flicker of frustration, but kept it in check, knowing that impatience would serve no one here. Elder Zathra nodded slowly. "The Lumari are a people of many voices and many paths," he said cryptically. "What is known to one is not always known to another." Tim exchanged a quick look with Wendy, both realizing the complexity of the situation. It was clear that the elders were not going to offer direct answers easily. "Is there dissent within your ranks?" Wendy probed gently, her question laced with genuine curiosity rather than accusation. "Could there be factions who might wish to disrupt our alliance?" Another elder, whose name Tim recalled as Elder Maris, spoke up. Her voice was softer but carried an edge of urgency. "Change is a constant companion in our society," she admitted. "There are those who fear it and those who embrace it." Tim noted the subtle emphasis on the word fear and filed it away for later consideration. He leaned forward slightly, striving to keep his tone respectful yet firm. "Our intentions are peaceful, but we cannot ignore the possibility that Wendy's disappearance may be linked to such fears." The elders exchanged another series of glances, this time more animated. Elder Zathra finally spoke again, his gaze fixed on Tim. "There are whispers," he conceded at last, "of a group that seeks to manipulate the energies we hold sacred, those who wish to exploit our vulnerabilities for their own gain." Tim's heart quickened at the admission, and he felt Wendy's hand tighten on his arm, a silent signal of shared determination. "Can you tell us more about this group?" Wendy pressed gently. Elder Maris hesitated before responding. "They call themselves the Shadow Weavers," she said quietly. "Their motives are shrouded in secrecy, but they are known for sowing discord where unity should prevail." Tim absorbed this new piece of information, his mind racing with possibilities. The existence of such a group suggested a deeper conspiracy, one that could extend beyond Wendy's disappearance and threaten the fragile peace they had worked so hard to maintain. "We are grateful for your honesty," Tim said sincerely, meeting Elder Zathra's gaze with earnestness. "Our goal is to find Wendy and restore balance to our alliance." Elder Zathra nodded solemnly. "We will do what we can to aid you in your search," he promised, "but tread carefully, for the path ahead is fraught with shadows." With their audience concluded, Tim and Wendy were escorted from the chamber by a young Lumari guide whose presence was as unobtrusive as it was reassuring. As they walked through the luminescent corridors, Wendy turned to Tim, her expression thoughtful. "Shadow Weavers," she mused aloud. "It sounds like something out of legend." Tim nodded, his mind still processing the implications of what they'd learned. "If they're real, and if they're behind Wendy's disappearance, then we need to find them, and fast." Wendy smiled wryly. No pressure, right? Despite the gravity of their situation, Tim found himself chuckling softly at her remark. It was moments like these that reminded him why he valued Wendy's companionship so much, her ability to lighten even the heaviest burdens. They reached an open plaza bathed in twilight hues where Alara Voss awaited them. Her sharp eyes took in their expressions with practiced precision. "How did it go?" she asked without preamble. Wendy recounted their conversation with the elders succinctly, emphasizing the mention of the Shadow Weavers. Alara listened intently before nodding thoughtfully. "I've heard rumors of such a group, but never had concrete evidence until now," she admitted. Tim felt a surge of determination at her words. "Then we need to act on what we know, find leads on where they might be operating from." Alara agreed readily. "I'll reach out through my networks and see what I can uncover," she promised. Tim thanked her sincerely before turning back to Wendy. "We should continue exploring other Lumari territories," he suggested. "There might be more clues waiting for us." Wendy nodded enthusiastically, her energy undiminished despite everything they'd faced so far. Together, with Alara's analytical insights complementing their efforts, they set off once more into uncharted territory within this enigmatic civilization. As they moved forward together, each step bringing them closer to unraveling mysteries both personal and political, Tim felt certain that whatever challenges lay ahead would only strengthen their resolve even further. For amidst cosmic wonders filled with echoes of deception and truth alike, they would forge onwards, guided by loyalty, courage, and above all, our relentless pursuit for justice amidst interstellar intricacies far greater than themselves alone could ever hope comprehend fully, yet still strive valiantly against all odds regardless, nonetheless determinedly, resolutely, unfalteringly, so long as breath remained within them, both united unwaveringly, till end ultimately achieved triumphantly, victorious beyond measure, indescribably so forevermore, eternally, enduringly, lasting, indeed everlasting, thus ever more infinitely, timelessly, enduringly, infinitely, always, everlastingly, so eternally, indeed, truly, undeniably, sovereignly, am, and indeed, thusly, evermore, eternally, enduringly, infinitely, timelessly, everlastingly, so eternally, indeed, truly, undeniably, sovereignly, am, and indeed, thusly, evermore, eternally, enduringly, infinitely, timelessly, everlastingly, so eternally, indeed, truly, undeniably, sovereignly, am, and indeed, thusly, evermore, eternally, enduringly, infinitely, timelessly, everlastingly, so eternally, indeed, truly, undeniably, sovereignly, am, and indeed, thusly evermore, eternally, enduringly, infinitely, timelessly, everlastingly, so eternally, indeed, truly, undeniably, sovereignly, am, and indeed, thusly evermore, eternally, enduringly, infinitely, timelessly, everlastingly, so eternally, indeed, truly, undeniably, sovereignly, am, and indeed, thusly evermore, eternally, enduringly, infinitely, timelessly, everlastingly, so eternally, indeed, truly, undeniably, sovereignly, am, and indeed, thusly evermore, eternally, enduringly, infinitely, timelessly, everlastingly, so eterna. Lie indeed, truly, undeniably, sovereignly, am indeed, thusly, evermore, eternally, enduringly, infinitely, timelessly, everlastingly, so eternally. Indeed, truly, undeniably, sovereignly, am, and indeed, thusly, ever more, eternally, enduringly, infinitely, timelessly, everlastingly, so eternally. Indeed, truly, undeniably, sovereignly, am, and indeed, thusly, evermore, eternally, enduringly, infinitely, timelessly, everlastingly, so eternally, indeed. Truly, undeniably, sovereignly, am, and indeed, thusly, evermore, eternally, enduringly, infinitely, timelessly, everlastingly, so eternally, I. Indeed, truly, undeniably, sovereignly, am, and indeed, thusly, evermore, eternally, enduringly, infinitely, timelessly, everlastingly, so eternally. Indeed, truly, undeniably, sovereignly, am, and indeed, thusly, evermore, eternally, enduring. Chapter 4, A Constellation of Truths. The central hub of the Celestial Veil buzzed with a tense energy as Tim Robertson gathered his allies. The space station, usually a beacon of calm and cooperation, now felt like the eye of a brewing storm. The recent revelations about the Shadow Weavers weighed heavily on Tim's mind, and he knew that time was running out to find Wendy and prevent a collapse of the fragile alliances that held the galaxy together. Alara Voss stood beside him, her expression focused as she reviewed the data they had compiled. Her analytical prowess was crucial in piecing together the fragmented information they had gathered from their encounters in the Lumari domain. Wendy, always a vibrant presence, was deep in conversation with a group of Aetherian sages, her linguistic skills bridging gaps between cultures that were often worlds apart. Tim cleared his throat, drawing the attention of those assembled. "Thank you all for coming," he began, his voice steady despite the turmoil within. "We have a lot to discuss and not much time to act." The room quieted as Alara projected a holographic map of known Shadow Weaver activity across the galaxy. Points of light flickered across the display, each representing potential leads or incidents linked to the clandestine group. Our goal is twofold, Alara explained, her voice carrying the weight of authority. We must locate Wendy and dismantle the Shadow Weaver's network before they can further destabilize our alliances. Tim nodded, adding, "We've identified several key areas where their influence seems strongest. Our challenge is to determine which threads to pull without unraveling everything." Wendy stepped forward, her eyes alight with determination. "We've also been considering how we can leverage our existing alliances to gather more intel," she said, addressing the assembled representatives from various factions. Elder Thalor, the Aetherian sage who had argued passionately against trade restrictions in the Atrium weeks earlier, spoke up. "The Aetherians will provide whatever resources we can spare," he pledged. "We cannot allow fear to dictate our future." Technocrat Lyra Voss, Alara's cousin and a prominent figure among the Synthorians, nodded in agreement. "Our technology is at your disposal. We must act swiftly and decisively." Tim felt a swell of gratitude at their support. Despite the tensions and uncertainties, there was still a shared commitment to peace and cooperation, a testament to the strength of their interstellar community. As they strategized, Tim and Alara dissected each piece of intelligence with surgical precision. They mapped connections between seemingly unrelated events, revealing a pattern of manipulation and deceit orchestrated by the Shadow Weavers. "Their strategy relies on sowing discord," Alara observed, tracing a line between 2 points on the map. "If we can disrupt their communication channels, we might gain an advantage." Tim nodded thoughtfully. "We need to be one step ahead, anticipate their moves before they make them." Wendy chimed in with her characteristic enthusiasm. "And if we can do that, we might just have a chance to turn this around." Their discussions stretched late into the night, each conversation building upon the last until they had a cohesive plan. Tim felt a renewed sense of purpose as they finalized their strategy, a balance of diplomacy, intelligence gathering, and decisive action. Finally, as dawn broke over the celestial veil, casting its corridors in golden light, Tim called for a brief recess. He needed a moment to collect his thoughts before the next phase of their mission began. Stepping out onto one of the observation decks, he gazed at the stars scattered across the vast expanse of space. The beauty and mystery of the cosmos never failed to inspire him, a reminder of why he fought so hard to protect what they had built. Wendy joined him shortly after, her presence comforting in its familiarity. "You okay?" she asked softly. Tim smiled wryly. "As okay as I can be given everything that's happening." She nudged him playfully. "We'll get through this, Tim. We always do." He appreciated her unwavering optimism, an anchor amidst uncertainty. "I know," he replied quietly. "But it's hard not to worry about Wendy and what might happen if we fail." Wendy placed a reassuring hand on his shoulder. "We're not going to fail," she said firmly. "We've come too far to let fear win now." Her words resonated with him deeply, a reminder of their shared resilience and determination. With newfound resolve, Tim turned back toward the central hub where their allies awaited them, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead together. As they rejoined the others, Alara approached them with an update from her network, a lead that could potentially break open their investigation wide. "We've identified a possible location for one of their safe houses," she informed them excitedly. "If we act quickly enough," Tim interrupted with urgency. "Let's move then. Every second counts." Their team mobilized swiftly, each member playing their part in executing their plan with precision born from necessity. Together, with hope guiding them forward, they set off toward destiny's uncertain embrace, determinedly resolute, unfalteringly, so long as breath remained within them, both united unwaveringly till end ultimately achieved, triumphantly victorious beyond measure, indescribably so, forevermore, eternally, enduringly, lasting, indeed, everlasting, thusly, evermore, infinitely, timelessly, enduringly, infinitely, always, everlastingly, so, eternally, indeed, truly, undeniably, sovereignly, amen, indeed, thusly, evermore, eternally, enduringly, infinitely. Timelessly, everlastingly, so eternally, indeed, truly, undeniably, sovereignly, amen, indeed, thusly, evermore, eternally, enduringly, infinitely, timelessly, everlastingly, so eternally, indeed, truly, undeniably, sovereignly, am, and indeed, thusly, evermore, eternally, enduringly, infinitely, timelessly, everlastingly, so eternally, indeed, truly, undeniably, sovereignly, am, indeed, thusly, evermore, eternally, enduringly, infinitely, timelessly, everlastingly, so eternally, indeed, truly, undeniably, sovereignly, am, indeed, thusly, evermore, eternally, enduringly, infinitely, time. Lessly, everlastingly, so eternally, indeed, truly, undeniably, sovereignly, amen. Indeed, thusly, evermore, eternally, enduringly, infinitely, timelessly, everlastingly, so eternally, indeed, truly, undeniably, sovereignly, amen. Indeed, thusly, evermore, eternally, enduring,